Hey Sugarbee fam, buckle up because the Outlander Season 8 trailer has just dropped. And it's left the entire fandom gasping for air. One word, whispered off-screen, Mrs. Fraser has changed everything. Could it really be Henry Beauchamp? Claire's father we all believed was long dead. If this theory is true, Season 8 isn't just about love, war, and survival anymore, it's about rewriting the very heart of time itself. Let's dive deep into what this shocking reunion means for Claire, Jamie, and the entire Outlander legacy. The Outlander Season 8 trailer wastes no time reminding us why this series has captured the hearts of millions around the world. It begins with the sweeping beauty we've come to know so well, rolling Scottish hills, mist drifting across the moors, and the soft hum of life returning at Fraser's Ridge. These images are comforting, almost nostalgic, as they call back to everything the Frasers have built through decades of love, sacrifice, and unimaginable hardship. We see Claire and Jamie walking side by side, their bond as strong as ever. Their faces carrying the quiet strength of two people who have survived it all. For a moment, it feels like a homecoming, a chance to breathe, to reconnect with the land and the family that has defined so much of their journey. But this is out. Peace never lasts long. Within seconds, the trailer shifts. The camera lingers on Claire, her gaze unsettled as though she senses something just out of reach. A shadow lingering at the edge of her world. Then it happens. A man's voice, off-screen, yet chilling, calls out a single word, Mrs. Fraser. What happens next is the moment that has electrified the fandom. Claire freezes, her entire body rigid, her face drained of color. Her eyes widen in a mixture of disbelief and recognition, and the world around her seems to fall away. It's not just shock, it's the look of someone confronted with the impossible. This isn't a stranger's voice, it's someone who knows her, someone who carries a piece of her past, her identity, her very soul. And just like that, the trailer detonates a mystery that could redefine everything we thought we knew about the Outlander saga. The fandom's reaction was immediate and explosive. Social media lit up within minutes of the trailer dropping. Hashtags trended, theories poured in, and fans dissected every frame like detectives at a crime scene. The whisper of Mrs. Fraser has become one of the most discussed moments in Outlander history, right up there with Jamie and Claire's wedding, Brianna's journey through the stones, and the shocking returns of long-lost characters. But this time feels different. This time, the stakes are higher. Why? Because this moment doesn't just tease a twist, it threatens to unravel the very fabric of time and fate that the series has built over 8 seasons. Outlander has always danced on the edge of history and destiny. But the voice in this trailer suggests something deeper, something more personal than any war or political struggle. For the first time, the threat isn't just external, it's intimate. It's a voice that reaches directly into Claire's past. One she never expected to hear again. And that's why the fandom is shaken. Theories are flying. Is it Henry Beauchamp, Claire's father, thought dead in her childhood? Could it be William, Jamie's son, confronting her in a moment of tension? Or perhaps Lord John Grey, stepping into the story with his own quiet power? The possibilities are endless. But the emotional weight of Claire's reaction tells us one thing for certain: this is no ordinary twist. This is a revelation that will haunt her, and us, until the final season unfolds. In just a few seconds, the trailer managed to turn anticipation into obsession. Season 8 hasn't even begun. And already the fandom knows, this will be the season that changes everything. Chapter 2, Who is Calling Her Name? The moment that voice whispers Mrs. Fraser has ignited a storm of speculation across the Outlander fandom. Fans, critics, and even casual viewers have been dissecting that single second of the trailer, each one desperate to identify who could possibly be behind the words that left Claire frozen in shock. Theories range from the likely to the wild, but all of them share one thing in common: the understanding that whoever spoke those words carries enormous emotional weight for Claire Fraser. One of the most popular theories is that the voice belongs to William Ransom, Jamie's illegitimate son. William has always existed on the edges of Jamie and Claire's story, a living reminder of choices made long ago and secrets that can never fully stay buried. By Season 8, William is no longer a boy, he's a man shaped by war, honor, and the complicated bond he shares with both Jamie and Lord John Grey. For him to confront Claire directly, calling her by her married name, would be a powerful statement. It could signal a moment where William steps out from the shadows and forces Claire to reckon with her role in Jamie's hidden past. Another possibility that fans are clinging to is Lord John Grey himself. Known for his unwavering loyalty and quiet resilience, John has been a constant presence throughout Jamie and Claire's journey. His relationship with Jamie is one of the most fascinating dynamics in the series, filled with respect, affection, and unspoken longing. For John to appear suddenly, his voice cutting through the air with that calm yet commanding tone, would certainly explain Claire's visceral reaction. After all, John has a way of arriving in moments of vulnerability, often when the Frasers least expect him. But while these theories carry weight, the most haunting and emotionally charged speculation revolves around Henry Beauchamp, Claire's father. Long thought dead from a tragic car accident when Claire was still a child, Henry's absence shaped her entire life. The prequel series, Blood of My Blood, gave fans a detailed look into Henry's character, his relationship with Claire's mother Julia, and the events that defined their love story. It made his eventual death all the more tragic, casting a long shadow over Claire's childhood. So imagine the impact if the trailer's unseen voice is, indeed, Henry. The thought that Claire might see her father again, that he somehow crossed time, itself would rewrite everything we thought we knew about her past. For decades, Claire has carried the wound of his loss. She built her identity, her independence, and even her strength as a healer on the foundation of surviving without him. To have him suddenly reappear in her life would not only shake her to her core, but it would also force the audience to reconsider the rules of Outlander's universe. If Henry is alive in Claire's timeline, then her story was never truly hers alone. It would suggest that her ability to travel through time, her destiny with Jamie, and even her role in the unfolding saga may have been guided by bloodlines and forces she never understood. This is why the fandom is so captivated by the theory. It's not just about a father returning from the dead. It's about rewriting the very foundations of Claire's identity and the entire Outlander mythos. The question, who is calling her name, has become more than just a trailer mystery. It's a puzzle that could hold the key to how this legendary series chooses to close its final chapter. And no matter which theory proves true, the emotional fallout is guaranteed to be explosive. From the very beginning of Outlander, the phenomenon of time travel has been shrouded in mystery. Claire stumbled into the stones at Cray Na Dun as though fate had simply chosen her, but was it ever really an accident? Season after season, we've seen the ripple effects of time travelers crossing centuries. Gillis Duncan, Roger, Brianna, even Wendigo Donnerand. Each story seems to hint that the stones are not as indiscriminate as they appear. They call to certain people, certain bloodlines, as if guided by an invisible hand. And if the trailer truly reveals Henry Beauchamp alive in Claire's world, the implications are staggering. It would mean that her father wasn't just a victim of fate, but an active part of a larger Skidden legacy. We've seen hints of inherited ability before. Roger Mackenzie famously met his father across time, an encounter that blurred the lines of destiny and blood. Brianna, too, has wrestled with her lineage, balancing her life in the modern world with the undeniable pull of the 18th century. Could Claire be the next piece of that puzzle? If Henry is truly a traveler, it reframes her entire life story. She didn't stumble into the stones. She was always meant to. The blood in her veins carried that gift, or perhaps even that burden. And it explains why the stones resonated with her so powerfully on that fateful day. But here's where it gets even more chilling. If Henry Beauchamp crossed through the stones, it means he may have done so deliberately. What if his supposed death in a car accident wasn't the end at all, but the beginning of his journey? Blood of My Blood gave us a heartbreaking picture of Henry's life, his love for Julia, and the tragic way it all ended. Yet, Outlander has never shied away from bending time and rewriting fate. Could that accident have been the moment he vanished into another era, his life swept into the current of time travel? If so, he may have been navigating centuries long before Claire. And yet, this revelation could also be devastating. For Claire, the reappearance of her father wouldn't just reopen old wounds. It would force her to question everything she thought she knew about her own life. Was she ever truly free to choose her destiny, or was it written in her bloodline all along? That's the kind of twist that doesn't just shock the fandom, it redefines Outlander itself. For Claire Fraser, life has always been a balancing act between past and present, duty and desire, heartbreak and healing. She has endured the unimaginable war's imprisonment, the loss of her daughter for decades, the separation from Jamie by centuries, and yet her resilience has carried her forward. But nothing in her life could prepare her for the possibility of hearing her father's voice again. The moment she hears Mrs. Fraser in the trailer, her frozen expression says it all. This isn't just recognition, it's shock, grief, and longing colliding all at once. The loss of Henry Beauchamp shaped Claire's childhood in ways we've only glimpsed. Raised as an orphan, she had to construct her identity without the guiding hand of either parent. That loss carved out a hollow space in her heart, one she filled with her passion for medicine and her stubborn determination to survive. Meeting Jamie gave her a family again, Brianna gave her purpose, and the Ridge gave her stability. But Henry's return threatens to reopen those old wounds, forcing Claire to confront the little girl she once was, the one who still aches for her father's embrace. Imagine the emotional storm that would follow. On one hand, this reunion could feel like a miracle. For a woman who has spent her life healing others, the chance to heal her own deepest loss might seem like a gift from fate. To look into her father's eyes and hear his voice again could bring a sense of closure she has been denied for decades. It might even answer questions about her own origins, her time-traveling gift, and the family legacy that has haunted her without explanation. Yet, on the other hand, the return of Henry could unravel everything she has built. Claire's life is no longer just about her. She is Jamie's wife, Brianna's mother, Marsali and Fergus's confidant, and the healer the Ridge depends on. Introducing her father into this fragile ecosystem could stir doubts, ignite jealousy, or pull Claire away from the stability she has fought so hard to protect. Jamie, for all his love and understanding, might feel threatened by a man who represents a part of Claire's soul he can never fully share. And Brianna, already torn between two centuries, could find her own sense of belonging shaken by the sudden presence of a grandfather she never knew. This is where the true drama lies. Is Henry's return a blessing or a curse? For Claire, the answer won't be simple. She must decide whether to embrace him as a gift from the stones or guard her heart against the chaos he could bring. Either way, the emotional stakes have never been higher. Henry isn't just another time travel, he is her blood. The man who shaped her before she could even remember. The root of her lineage. His reappearance forces Claire to ask herself, how much of her life has truly been her own choice, and how much has been written in her bloodline all along. If Outlander has taught us anything, it's that no reunion is ever simple. Love stories are tested, bonds are strained, and destiny often demands a price. The idea of Henry Beauchamp stepping into Claire's life again may sound like a gift from the stones. But seasoned fans know better. Nothing in this world comes without consequence. His arrival could unleash a storm of complications that threatens the fragile balance at Fraser's Ridge and the life Claire has fought so hard to protect. One of the darkest possibilities lies in Henry's knowledge or lack of it. If he has traveled through time, what does he know about the centuries he's crossed? Imagine if he carries information from the future. Something that could alter battles, politics, or even the fate of his own family. Would Claire, as a healer and a mother, be tempted to use that knowledge to protect the people she loves? Or would she fear the ripple effects of tampering with history yet again? Every decision in Outlander is a tug-of-war between survival and destiny. And Henry's presence could force Claire and Jamie into impossible choices. Then there's the personal cost. As her father, Henry might feel entitled to a say in Claire's life, her marriage, her children, even the choices she has made since he died. He could struggle to accept Jamie, the Highland warrior who became the center of Claire's world. What happens if Henry tries to pull her away from Jamie, arguing that her rightful place is back in the 20th century? Would Claire be tempted, torn between her love for Jamie and the longing to reclaim a piece of the family she lost? That tug could create cracks in her marriage, testing the bedrock of one of television's most enduring love stories. And what about Jamie? He has always carried the weight of competing with Claire's other life, Frank Randall, her daughter's modern world, even the pull of her career. The return of her father would add yet another shadow he cannot compete with, a man who represents her past, her bloodline, and perhaps her destiny. Jamie's strength lies in his loyalty, but his fear of losing Claire is never far beneath the surface. Henry's sudden reappearance could awaken that fear in a way no enemy ever has. But perhaps the darkest twist is the question of Henry's motives. What if his journey through time wasn't noble at all? What if he comes with an agenda, revenge, ambition, or a desperate attempt to rewrite his own fate? Time travel in Outlander has always blurred the line between salvation and manipulation. Guileless Duncan wanted power. Wendigo Donner wanted escape. Even Roger and Brianna struggled with temptation when faced with knowledge of the future. Why should Henry be any different? This reunion, then, isn't just about family. It's about trust, loyalty, and the choices that define Claire's identity. Will she stand by Jamie and the life they've built together, or will the echo of her father's voice shake her resolve? If Outlander thrives on moral storms, Henry Beauchamp may be the greatest one yet. Every great saga needs a closing circle, a moment where the beginning and the end finally meet. For Outlander, that circle may not just be about Claire and Jamie's survival, it could be about the forces that shaped Claire before she ever set foot on Craina. Done. The potential reveal of Henry Beauchamp's return doesn't just shock fans in the moment, It reframes the entire series and ties the final season back to its prequel, Blood of My Blood. Suddenly, this isn't just the end of a love story, it's the culmination of a generational saga. Think about it. Blood of My Blood gave us a glimpse into Henry Beauchamp's life, his marriage to Julia, and the heartbreak that defined him. If Season 8 truly brings Henry into Claire's timeline, the narrative circle becomes clear. What began with his choices, his life, and his possible ability to travel through time may have been setting the stage for Claire's destiny all along. In this way, the franchise links not just centuries of history but also its spin-offs, ensuring that the prequel isn't just a side story, it's the foundation of everything. This theory changes how we see Claire's first step through the stones. Up until now, it's felt like chance, or at least an unexplained pull of fate. But what if Henry's bloodline is the answer? What if Claire inherited her ability to travel from him, making her journey through time less of a random accident and more of a generational calling? That idea ties Claire's fate to her father's in a way that feels both inevitable and poetic. The daughter who never knew her father now realizes she has been living out the destiny he unknowingly passed down to her. And it's not just about Claire. Jamie, Roger, Brianna, even Jemmy and Mandy, all of them are part of this greater tapestry of time travelers. The bigger picture could show us that each of these characters is a thread woven into something larger, a multi-generational struggle to balance love, loyalty, and destiny across time. By connecting Henry to Claire's gift, the show may also set up explanations for why some can travel and others can't, a mystery that has lingered since Season 1. If this is the direction Season 8 is taking, then Outlander isn't just wrapping up, it's uniting its storylines in a way that few series ever achieve. The reveal of Henry could tie past, present, and future together, making the final season not just the end of Claire and Jamie's journey, but the conclusion of a saga that spans centuries. It's about fathers and daughters, bloodlines and love stories, and the way choices echo across time. For fans, this bigger picture is thrilling. It means Season 8 isn't simply about survival or romance, it's about legacy. And as Outlander prepares to bow out, what better way to end than by revealing that the story was never just Claire and Jamie's? It was always about the family who came before, and the generations who will carry their legacy after. With each new season of Outlander, the stakes have grown higher, but Season 8 feels like uncharted territory. This is the final act of a story that has carried fans across centuries, across oceans, and through some of the most heart-wrenching trials television has ever delivered. What makes Season 8 stand apart is not just the political turmoil of the age or the dangers of the new world, it's the deeply personal storm that now threatens the heart of the Fraser family. And that storm has a name: Henry Beauchamp. On the surface, the season promises familiar themes: the chaos of a world reshaped by revolution, new settlers pouring into the Ridge with fresh hopes and conflicts, and the lingering trauma of battles fought both in America and back in Scotland. Jamie and Claire, already scarred from decades of war and separation, will once again have to be the anchors in a world constantly shifting beneath their feet. But the trailer hints that the most dangerous battles this time will not be fought with muskets or swords. They'll be fought in the heart of the Fraser household. The return of Claire's father, if the theories are true, instantly reframes the emotional core of Season 8. Imagine everything they've endured, their endless fight to preserve their love and protect their children, suddenly overshadowed by a ghost from Claire's past. This isn't a political rival or an enemy soldier, it's family. And in Outlander, family can be the greatest source of strength or the deepest well of conflict. Henry's presence raises impossible questions. Can Claire reconcile the image of the father she lost with the man standing before her? Can Jamie accept another piece of Claire's past that he can never truly compete with? And what about Brianna, who has already struggled to balance her 20th century roots with her 18th century life? A grandfather who belongs to both centuries could throw her entire sense of identity into question. Every character at the Ridge could feel the ripple effects, making Henry not just a visitor, but a catalyst for change. What makes this season explosive is how personal the stakes have become. Political unrest may rage outside the Ridge, but the true conflict is within the Fraser bloodline itself. If Henry's return confirms that time travel is hereditary, then Season 8 isn't just about survival anymore, it's about legacy. It forces Claire, Jamie, and their children to face the truth that their family is bound not only by love but by the dangerous gift of moving through time. That revelation could either unite them as never before or tear them apart in ways no war ever could. Outlander has always been a story about love, loss, and survival, but in its final chapter, it dares to ask the ultimate question: can family ties transcend time itself? Season 8 promises to answer that question in a way that will not only bring Claire and Jamie's journey full circle but also tie the fate of the Beauchamps and Frasers into a single, unbreakable thread that stretches across centuries. But let's be honest, Outlander has never been a fairy tale. Every reunion comes with a price, and every gift from fate carries hidden costs. If Henry truly has returned, his arrival could destabilize everything at Fraser's Ridge. His knowledge of the future or his demands as a father could force Claire and Jamie into impossible choices. Imagine Henry insisting that Claire abandon her life in the past to honor the legacy of the future. Or worse, imagine his motives aren't as noble as fans hope. Time travel twists loyalties, reshapes intentions, and blurs the lines between love and control. A father's love could just as easily become a father's demand, and in the process, Claire's loyalty might not just be tested against Jamie's love, it could be tested against her own heart. This is where Outlander thrives, in the moral storms where no choice is truly right, and every path carries pain. Henry's return could force Claire to confront the unthinkable. What if family itself becomes the greatest danger? More than just a shocking reunion, Henry's presence could connect Outlander's final chapter directly to its prequel, Blood of My Blood. For years, fans have speculated how the two shows would overlap. Now, the trailer hints that Season 8 may close the circle that began long before Claire ever touched the stones. If Henry is truly back, his story could explain why Claire was able to travel in the first place. Perhaps her gift wasn't random but inherited. Perhaps her destiny has always been tied not just to Jamie Fraser, but to the Beauchamp bloodline. This revelation would unite two generations of characters across time, linking Claire's journey to her father's in ways we never imagined. It would redefine the legacy of the series, not just as Claire and Jamie's love story, but as a multi-generational saga about family, blood, and time itself. Season 8 was already shaping up to be an emotional roller coaster, but this twist takes it to another level. On the outside, Claire and Jamie must still navigate a world torn by political unrest. The revolution continues to rage, new settlers bring challenges to the ridge, and the scars of war haven't fully healed. These external conflicts alone would make for a powerful season. But now, the true storm may come from within their own family. A father long thought dead, a bloodline that may hold the key to time travel itself, and a reunion that could either heal or destroy. This is what makes the trailer so explosive. Outlander has always been about love, loss, and survival, but Season 8 dares to ask a deeper question. Can family ties truly transcend time? And if they can, should they? The answer to that question will decide not only the fate of the Frasers but the legacy of the series as a whole. As we prepare for the final season, fans are left with more questions than answers. Will Henry's return give Claire the closure she's longed for,